I've reached a point in my life where I've started to smile when things get harder, because I know the harder it gets, the fewer people will stay in the fight. Difficulty is not a curse, it's a filter. It's nature's way of sorting the committed from the comfortable, the hungry from the hopeless. When you start to understand that, something inside you flips. Most people look at a challenge and say, "This is too hard." But if you can train your mind to say, "Good, let it be hard. No one else will follow me here," then everything changes. You stop seeing the struggle as suffering and start seeing it as selection. Every step forward is another barrier that separates you from the average. Every setback is another checkpoint that only the relentless will pass. Nothing great will ever be handed to you. Nothing. Everything real, strength, success, freedom, respect, must be earned. You can't fake your way to the top. You can't skip the pain. The grind doesn't negotiate. It demands everything and pays in silence. If you want to change your life, stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for luck. Stop waiting for someone to see your potential. Nobody's coming to rescue you. Nobody's coming to hand you the dream. You've got to build it, brick by brick, day by day, when no one is watching and no one believes. But before we fully dive in, I just ask you for one small thing. If you can, take a second to like or hype the video. It helps our channel to reach more people who might need these words today. Thank you. Now, for the next 3 years, be selfish. Be absolutely unapologetically selfish. Focus on your growth like your life depends on it, because it does. Get strong, mentally, physically, financially. Put your oxygen mask on first before you try to save anyone else. Build a foundation so solid that nothing and no one can shake it. Stack your money, sharpen your skills, protect your peace. Be selfish with your time. Be greedy with your ambition. Chase your potential like your soul is on fire. Stop apologizing for wanting more. Stop shrinking yourself to fit inside small rooms with small minds. You have a limited number of years to set your future up. Don't waste them trying to please people who aren't even in the arena. Because if you go all in now, if you stop wishing and start working, if you stop talking and start doing, the life you'll build in 5, 7, 10 years will be unrecognizable. You'll look back and barely recognize the person who used to doubt, hesitate, and wait for the right moment. But understand this truth: there are no shortcuts. You cannot erase the work ethic part. There's no elevator to the top. The elevator doesn't go that high. You've got to take the stairs. And those stairs, they're steep, dark, and endless. You'll trip, you'll fall, you'll want to quit. But the stairs are where you grow. The stairs are where you separate yourself from everyone else. You've got to get gritty. You've got to learn to love the process. The harder thing to do and the right thing to do are almost always the same. Nothing meaningful is ever easy. Easy doesn't exist in the life of someone who wants to win. Easy belongs to those who've already given up. When I was younger, everyone told me to do my homework, but my homework wasn't on paper. My homework was life. My homework was discipline, showing up when I didn't feel like it. That was my assignment, to outwork everyone who said they wanted it. The truth is, the people who are obsessed, who eat, sleep, and breathe their vision, they're the ones who change the world. Or at least they change their world. Someone once told me, "You know what separates champions from everyone else?" I said, "What?" He said, "Everyone looks at champions and asks, what do they have that I don't?" But that's the wrong question. The real question is, what do they not have that I do? See, champions lack something. They lack an off switch. They don't stop. They can't stop. It's not motivation, it's wiring. Every part of their life, every choice they make, every action they take is aligned with one mission. There are two kinds of champions: those who prepare to win and those who prepare to dominate. The difference? Winners train until they get it right. Dominators train until they can't get it wrong. Life doesn't wait for you to be ready. It begins the moment you decide to go all in. The second you stop dipping your toe in the water and finally dive, that's the moment everything shifts. If you're going to do something, do it with your whole soul. Say what you mean what you say. If you can't do it, admit it. Don't fake it. Don't overpromise. But if you say you're in, be in fully. No hesitation, no safety net, because half-hearted attempts will destroy you. Trying it out is the language of fear. Decide first, then execute. Don't test the water. Dive in and swim until you either reach the other side or go down fighting. Because the only thing worse than failure is not knowing. That's what keeps people awake at night. The thought that maybe if they'd gone all in, they could have made it. That maybe if they hadn't quit early, they would have won. That maybe if they had just believed harder, they'd be living the life they dreamed about. When you give something everything you've got, when you pour your entire being into it, even if you fail, you win. Because you learn who you are, you gain peace. You can look in the mirror and say, I didn't half-ass it. That's power, that's freedom. But when you go all in and you succeed, when you discover, yeah, this is exactly what I was built for, that's purpose, that's destiny. That's where you become unstoppable. And that's the point. That's why you do it. Not because it's easy, not because it's guaranteed, but because at the end of it all, you'll know. You'll know you faced the mountain and didn't walk away. You'll know you gave your all. You'll know that when life tried to break you, you smiled, because you knew no one else would follow you into that storm. And that's the moment, that quiet, unshakable moment when you realize you were never chasing success, you were becoming it. Right now in life, your family is waiting. They're looking around for that one person, the one who's strong enough to hold everything together when the world feels like it's falling apart. They're searching for that pillar, that rock, that anchor. Make sure when they look around, they find you. Because these are the times that define men. These are the times when strength isn't optional. It's required. When chaos hits, the world doesn't need more noise. It needs a man who can stand still while everything around him shakes. Be that man. Be the one who doesn't crumble. Be the one who can carry the weight, who can take anything, the pain, the doubt, the fear, and still move forward. A good friend of mine, Alex, once said something I'll never forget. The heaviest things in life aren't made of iron or gold. They're made of unmade decisions. And he's right. The reason most people are stressed, the reason they feel lost, is because they've got decisions sitting in their mind like weights, and they refuse to pick them up. You want peace? Make the damn decision. Even if it's hard. Especially if it's hard. I've learned how to pull strength out of thin air. I can extract dopamine, the good kind, whenever I need it. Not from people, not from applause, but from within. Because I trained 99% of my life alone. No one patted me on the back, no one said, good job. I did it alone. And when you live like that, when you spend years in silence, working in the dark, pushing through misery, and you come out the other side, you build something inside of you that nobody can touch. That's why, when life gets hard, I can switch it on instantly. That energy people see, that fire, it's not something I wear every day. It's something I become when I need it. Because when you've spent years fighting through the darkness by yourself, you learn to light your own fire. You learn that you don't need anyone to motivate you. And that's exactly why people look to you for motivation, because you're the one who doesn't. See, people only root for those who don't need it. The world loves you after you've made it. But when you're still climbing, when you're still bleeding for it, silence. When I was on my lonely path, I was too different from my old friends, and not yet successful enough to fit in with the people I admired. I was in that middle zone, alone, unseen, misunderstood. That's when you need support the most. That's when you hope someone will clap for you, believe in you, say, keep going. But that's not how it works. Once you've already won, the crowd shows up. Then they call you amazing. They call you inspiring. But that's when you need it the least. So you have to become your own crowd. You have to be the one who claps when nobody else will. It's a lonely sound, that single clap echoing in an empty room. But that's what greatness sounds like at the start. It's you, rooting for you. And it might be that way for years, just you and the silence, until one day the world finally catches on. So if you're walking alone right now, if you're struggling, if you feel like no one sees what you're doing, understand this: you're on the right path. Because the path of the exceptional person is always one of exception. By definition, it means you stand apart. You are not meant to fit in. You are meant to rise above. So stop fighting the loneliness. Stop resenting the silence. That isolation you feel, it's proof that you're exactly where you need to be. Because if everyone were cheering you on, that would mean you're still standing with the crowd, not ahead of it. And that's not where you belong. Now is the time. You're not early, you're late. You're 30. You've already lost years to hesitation, distraction, doubt. It's a man's game now. You've got to wake up and move. Every day you waste is one more you'll wish you had back. Get on it. Get hungry. Get focused. Because no one's coming to save you but you. When I walk into any room, I know who I am. I believe in myself with a bulletproof mind. And when I step out there, I don't hope to perform. I know I'll perform. Because confidence isn't arrogance. Ignorant people will call it arrogance, but the intelligent ones, they recognize it for what it is. Clarity. I know who I am. I know what I've done. I know what I'm capable of. That's not arrogance, that's evidence. Look around you. Most people aren't failing because they lack talent. They fail because they avoid trade-offs. They want everything. They want success without sacrifice, progress without pain. But life doesn't work that way. There are no solutions, only trade-offs. What does that mean? It means nothing is ever perfect. Every choice comes with a cost. Every decision takes something from you. You can't win everywhere. If you pour yourself into one thing, something else will be neglected. And that's okay. That's life. If you're not willing to make those trade-offs, if you're not ready to give something up for something greater, you'll stay stuck forever. So stop chasing the perfect plan. Stop waiting for the ideal moment. It doesn't exist. The only thing that's real is the choice in front of you. Pick it, commit to it, and move, because time is running out. And when the storm comes, when life turns into that hurricane and everyone else runs for cover, be the one still standing. Be the one jogging through the hurricane while the world hides indoors. That's what separates the few from the many. That's what separates the watchers from the doers. They'll call you crazy. They'll call you arrogant. But when the dust settles, they'll call you something else. Unstoppable. We live in strange times. There's no great war to fight, no great depression to survive. The world around us is peaceful on the surface, but inside, every person you meet is at war. Our great war is a spiritual one. Our great depression is our own lives. The emptiness, the scrolling, the comparison, the quiet feeling that maybe we were built for something more. We're not dodging bullets anymore. We're dodging accountability. We're not fighting hunger, we're fighting comfort. We're not struggling to survive. We're struggling to find meaning. And somewhere in the middle of all that, people started saying the most dangerous words in existence. I can't. You can't. You just said, I can't. That word makes my skin crawl. I can't is the anthem of the weak. It's the language of people who've accepted defeat before they've even tried. When I hear I can't, what I really hear is I won't. Because you can, you just won't. You don't want to pay the price. You don't want to sacrifice, to struggle, to be uncomfortable long enough to find out what you're truly capable of. I don't have time for that energy. I don't have space for it. I don't want to sit next to people who shrink in the face of difficulty. You've got to stop being driven by outcomes. Stop being addicted to the results. Stop living with that if-then mentality. If I get this job, I'll be happy. If I hit this number, I'll feel successful. If I achieve this goal, I'll finally be enough. No, that's not how it works. You do the work because the work needs to be done. You show up because that's who you are. You keep going because that's your identity now, not because the world claps for you. And if you don't get what you expected, you still show up. You still move forward because the process is where the growth is. The process is where you change. What's more valuable, what you acquire or who you become in the process of chasing it? Most people never stop to think about that. They're so obsessed with the end that they forget to become someone worthy of it. But success that changes your bank account without changing your character will always feel empty. That's why I live by a simple rule. Change expectation into appreciation. When something doesn't go your way, stop sulking and start studying it. What's this moment trying to teach you? Every failure carries a lesson. Every loss carries a blessing. But only for the person who's willing to see it. Most people never do. Most people are stuck at step one, paralyzed by indecision. They stare at the endless possibilities of life and drown in them. They want every door open at once, so they never walk through any of them. They overthink, they wait, they plan, and then they look up and time has passed them by. Opportunities don't vanish. They just move on to someone else who was brave enough to act. You have to pick a direction and go. Not with hesitation, not with half your heart, but with full commitment. You have to develop the mentality of zero options. No backup plan, no safety net, no, I'll try this and see how it goes. When I wake up on the days I don't want to move, I tell myself the same thing I've told myself for years. If I don't get this done, if I don't show up, if I don't fight through this day, I'll be out there digging ditches. That might not be literally true anymore, but mentally, it keeps me sharp. It keeps me hungry. The mind needs pressure. It needs consequence. It needs to believe that quitting isn't on the table. Because once you give yourself an out, you'll take it every single time. So I operate like I have no choice but to succeed. I pick something and I stay with it until it's done, until there's no doubt, no question, no unfinished business left behind. And yeah, that's hard, but that's how you build grit. That's how you build something inside yourself that doesn't break when life punches back. The problem is, most people won't commit because they're terrified of failing. They don't realize that failure is part of the contract. They catastrophize everything. If I fail, I'll lose my job. Then no one will respect me. Then I'll never recover. Then I'll end up broke. Then I'll die. It's ridiculous, but that's how fear talks. In exaggerations, in fake catastrophes. When I finally stopped and thought rationally about failure, I realized it's not that bad. If I tried something and failed, what would really happen? I'd dust myself off, apply for another job, tell the story, learn from it, maybe even come back stronger. Failure doesn't destroy you, it refines you. And that's when I understood something. Most people never will. Failure doesn't make you less. It makes you interesting. It makes you valuable. It gives you a story, perspective, and experience that can't be bought. The world loves people who've been through fire and didn't burn. So I stopped saying someday. I used to say that a lot. Yeah, I've got this job now, but someday I want to start my own business. Someday I'll go after what I really want. But someday is the biggest lie we tell ourselves to stay comfortable. Someday is code for never. I looked at my life and realized I have no kids, no wife, no heavy responsibilities right now. If it's hard now, it'll be impossible later. So I did it now. I stopped talking about what I wanted and started building it, brick by brick, failure by failure. I stopped tagging my dream at the end of my sentence. I made it the start of everyone. And that's the real battle we're all fighting. Not against the world, but against ourselves. The war isn't on the outside anymore. It's inside. It's between your potential and your comfort, between your discipline and your doubt, between who you are and who you're afraid to become. That's the modern battlefield. The human spirit under siege by its own excuses. So stop saying, I can't. You can. You just won't. Not yet. But the moment you decide to stop waiting, stop doubting, and start moving, everything changes. Because the truth is, you were never lacking ability. You were only lacking commitment. The only thing standing between who you are and who you could be is the moment you finally decide to move. Do you really think Michael Jordan was just interested in winning championships? Do you think Kobe Bryant was just interested in basketball? You think Jeff Bezos was just interested in shipping boxes? You think Elon Musk wakes up in the morning and says, I'm interested in rockets today? No, those men weren't interested. They were obsessed. Obsessed with becoming the best. Obsessed with the process. Obsessed with the climb. Because interest fades, but obsession stays. You can be interested in many things. Reading, cars, gardening, working out. You can fall in and out of interest depending on your mood, your energy, your circumstances. But obsession? Obsession doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't check the weather. It doesn't wait for motivation. And it doesn't need applause. Obsession stays with you when no one else does. It's there when the world turns its back, when the lights go out, when nobody texts, calls, or believes in you. Obsession whispers, we keep going. I'm alone. Look at me. There's no one around, no crowd, no fans, no cameras, nobody cheering. And yet, I'm still working, because sometimes nobody will be there to motivate you. Nobody will be there to push you, to clap for you, to celebrate your effort. That's life. If you need constant validation, you'll never make it far. You got to learn how to clap for yourself. You got to learn how to wake yourself up. You've got to become your own coach, your own cheerleader, your own fuel source. That's what separates champions from everyone else. They don't wait for motivation. They generate it. Champions do daily what everyone else does occasionally. That's it. It's not magic. It's consistency. You're not extraordinary because you're different. You're extraordinary because you do the ordinary things extra. That's the secret. That's what separates the average from the exceptional. But here's what most people never realize. We all have that voice inside us, that lazy, whispering parasite that wants us to do nothing. It tells you to rest, to delay, to scroll, to start tomorrow. It's seductive because it sounds like logic, but that voice is not your friend, it's your enemy. And if you want to win, you've got to kill it daily. You've got to decide that you're a professional. A professional doesn't negotiate with that voice. A professional shows up, tired, uninspired, heartbroken, or overwhelmed, but still shows up. Because this is what a professional does. There's an old idea about the muse, that creativity, discipline, or greatness can visit you like a divine force if you're open to it. Whether you believe that or not doesn't matter. What matters is this: When you act as if it's real, it works. When you sit down every day, ready to give your best, something magical starts to move. Something in the universe responds to that consistency, that faith, that commitment. You begin to channel energy, strength, focus, and ideas you didn't even know were there. And it's in those small daily moments, those tiny choices, where your life is defined. It's not the one big decision that makes you great. It's the 1,000 small ones you make when nobody's watching. Every time you choose to get up instead of sleeping in, every time you pick discipline over distraction, every time you choose the hard thing over the easy one, those moments stack up. They compound. They shape who you are. That's how you build identity. That's how you become the guy. The man who says what he'll do and does what he says. The man who moves through the world with quiet confidence, not because he's gifted, but because he's proven himself to himself. You repeat that long enough and your life changes. You walk differently. You think differently. You attract differently. You live with a force that becomes unstoppable. So ask yourself, why not you? You've got the brains. You can make decisions. You can study the plan. You can learn the skills. You can change your life. You can grow immensely in the next few years. You can build a financial wall around your family that nothing can break through. You can become healthy, strong, powerful, respected. So why not you? Why does it always have to be someone else's story? The same people you admire were just like you once, scared, unsure, inexperienced. The only difference is they started. You better make sure in this next chapter of your life that the people who walked away from you, the ones who doubted you, the ones who gave up on you, know exactly what they lost. Do something with your life so big, so undeniable, that they have to sit on that couch years later and say, damn, I should have believed in them. I should have stayed. I should have waited a little longer. Give them something to regret, not out of spite, but out of proof. Proof that their absence didn't stop you. Proof that your worth was never determined by their presence. And remember this, every second of your life is either a credit or a debit. Every action counts. Watching meaningless television, wasting time, hanging around people who drain your energy, all of that goes on the negative side of your ledger. The law of accumulation doesn't care about your excuses. It just measures your actions. People with great lives, powerful careers, strong bodies, and sharp minds are simply those who've accumulated more credits than debits, more hours of discipline than hours of distraction. Nothing in life is neutral. Every moment is either moving you closer to your goals or pulling you further away. Every choice is a vote for the future you want or the one you'll regret. So when you wake up tomorrow, ask yourself one question. Is what I'm doing right now moving me toward who I want to be or away from it? Because that's all life really is. A series of choices. The obsessed choose forward. The average choose comfort. And the few who are willing to stay obsessed, to fight that lazy voice, to keep showing up day after day, no matter what, those are the ones who don't just live, they lead. There are two forms of pain in this life: the pain that breaks you and the pain that changes you. One crushes your spirit, the other forges it. One destroys your faith, the other rebuilds it stronger. That pain you feel when you're pushing through the struggle, when your lungs burn, when your mind screams to quit, that's not suffering, that's transformation. That's the pain of progress. The pain that destroys you doesn't come from the grind. It comes later in silence when you're staring at the mirror and realizing you could have been more. That's the kind of pain that never leaves. The kind that keeps you up at night, tears running down your face, haunted by the ghost of potential you allowed to die. That's the real pain. the pain of what if, the pain of knowing you quit on yourself. So own your life. You have every opportunity in front of you, every chance to become something extraordinary. There are no excuses left. Be the hardest working person in every room you walk into, whether it's school, your career, the gym, your relationship. Your name is attached to it. And that name, that reputation, that legacy is the only thing you truly own. Protect it, honor it, make it mean something. Most people die with their potential still inside them. They die full of ideas, full of dreams, full of things they never did because they were afraid or lazy or comfortable. Don't be one of them. Be the best version of yourself in everything you do. You don't need a dramatic backstory or some impossible starting point to make your life matter. You don't need to be born with money or luck or talent. You don't need perfect conditions. What you need is faith. Faith in God, faith in yourself, faith in the process. You need passion, that deep, burning drive that makes you move when everyone else sits still. And you need relentless effort, the kind of work ethic that doesn't take days off, that doesn't need applause, that doesn't stop when it's tired. If you give everything you have every single day, if you live in the moment and pour your soul into your work, there's no way you won't grow. Second place isn't an option anymore. Average isn't an option anymore. You get out there what you put in here. So why would you ever give half? Why would you show up to your life with anything less than your full potential? What else are you going to do? Sit on the couch, watch other people win, and let life pass you by? You have two choices. Take time off or take time to get ahead. And if that sounds like an easy choice, it's because you believe in yourself. But if that choice feels hard, it's because you don't. People who believe they can win want to show up. People who don't believe in themselves avoid the grind because they've already decided the outcome. They don't see training, studying, or working as an investment. They see it as a waste of time. They don't sharpen their weapons because they've already surrendered. Everyone has that voice inside their head, the one that says, "Can you really do this? Is it even worth it? What if you fail?" That's the voice that convinces people to stop chasing greatness. That's the voice that makes people settle. It's not the world that stops most people. It's their own mind. They hang up their cape, they hang up their dream, and they just wait. Not living, not growing, just waiting for something to happen, waiting for the next excuse, waiting for life to push them again. But whatever excuse you've got for why you can't make it, someone out there has had it worse and still did it anyway. Someone with less time, less money, less support, less hope, and they still made it. Which means your excuse isn't real, it's just convenient. Because success doesn't care where you started. The only currency it understands is effort. The only requirement is work. If you want to change your life, you have to change your ways. You have to develop discipline. You have to build strength. You have to fall in love with consistency. Worthwhile goals aren't achieved overnight. They take time, repetition, and relentless pursuit day after day for years. But remember, just as success doesn't come fast, failure doesn't either. Your life doesn't fall apart in one explosion. It crumbles slowly, one skipped workout, one excuse, one compromise at a time. A little slip here, a little delay there. One "I'll do it tomorrow" turns into a habit, and before you know it, a year's gone. That's why you need awareness, because every small action counts. And if you're a 30-year-old man talking about work-life balance, you're hanging with the wrong people. The people around you are either pulling you up or dragging you down. That feeling when you realize you've outgrown your social circle, that's not loneliness, that's evolution. That's your ambition finally speaking louder than your need to belong. Listen to it. You're not meant to fit in with everyone. You're meant to grow beyond them. And don't buy into this modern lie that says you should never criticize yourself, that you should never feel pressure or guilt or discomfort. That's nonsense. That voice in your head that says you could have done better, that's not insecurity. That's your higher self calling you out. That's your potential demanding more from you. Listen to it. Don't silence it. That's the version of you that refuses to settle. That's the version of you that's tired of excuses. So the next time you feel pain, remember there are two kinds. The kind that breaks you and the kind that builds you. You get to decide which one it's going to be. You can let it destroy you or you can let it change you. But whatever you do, don't run from it. Because the pain of effort is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts forever. Choose the pain that transforms you. Because one day, you'll look back at the version of yourself who refused to quit, and you'll thank them for saving your life. And when it's all said and done, when the world goes quiet and the lights go out, it'll just be you, standing in front of that mirror. No filters, no excuses, just you and the truth. You'll know if you showed up when it mattered. You'll know if you gave everything you had, or if you let comfort talk you into settling. You'll know whether you chased your potential or buried it. Because one day, all the noise fades. The applause, the achievements, the numbers, the likes. And what's left isn't what you earned. It's who you became. The man who refused to quit. The one who carried on when nobody believed. The one who turned pain into power, doubt into discipline, and fear into fuel. That's what matters. That's what lasts. Every scar you've got, every loss you've taken, every night you wanted to give up, they were never signs of weakness. They were proof you were still in the fight, proof that you kept going when others stopped, proof that you were becoming someone greater. So wherever you are right now, tired, broken, uncertain, don't stop. Don't fold, don't run. Keep pushing, keep building, keep showing up. Because there's someone out there watching you, praying that you don't quit, hoping you'll prove that it's possible. Be that proof. Be that light. Be the example that reminds them what's still possible when the world says it's not. And when your story is told, make sure they remember your name, not because you never fell, but because you always got back up. Now stop waiting. Stop thinking. Stop hoping life will hand you something it never promised. Get up, get to work. Write your story while you still have time. Be the reason someone else starts. Be the proof that pain can become power. Be the one who decided enough is enough. Now it's your turn. When the noise fades and it's just you and that quiet voice inside, ask yourself, am I becoming who I was meant to be? Because most people quit long before the finish line. Most people stop when it hurts. But if you're still showing up, still carrying the weight, still building yourself piece by piece, you're not like most people. So if you're still standing, still pushing, still refusing to give up, comment, still in the fight. Let's see how many of us are still here. Remember, only you decide how limitless you are.